Yeah, viral munchies. This is Loch right here. LOCH121. Follow me everywhere. Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, all that. Check out the links in my description and all that. Subscribe, comment, like, share, everything. So let's get into this new show called American Gods. This show is crazy off the rip. Like off the rip, I'm like, this show is very unique. It's based on a book, and I don't want to really get too deep in the spoilers. I mean, it's information, I guess, that would help understand it. I don't know how much to bring into this or not. You know what I'm saying? Um, so let's go. So a dude narrates the story at the beginning, and he's writing with an old school pen, maybe 1800s. I don't know when this is. It's a black guy, and he's writing a story called "Coming to America," starring Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. No, he's not, but it is called "Coming to America," and it's about some Vikings coming to America. They run out of food on the way, and they land, and some natives shoot a guy with 6 million arrows. One guy, man, they tore his ass up. Okay, so they don't walk any further after they land on this beach, which is America it's North America. So they get there. Y'all gotta pardon me for 1 second because I don't have a lighter right now. Fuck that. I need this shit. So they get there. They get there. They got shot up, and they then eventually they want to leave, but there is no wind, and they can't leave. So in order to make wind come, first they build like an idol statue, and then they fucking take hot knives and burn each one eye with a hot knife, and then they just burn the dude to death. And finally, they just decide to have a war and kill each other. And a lot of them die, and the wind comes, and they leave, and they never speak on it. And it says that like 100 years later, Leif, Eric the Red Son, a Viking, finds the same spot before Columbus found North America, and they say that he found his God and he found his war. So I was wondering if the first Vikings that came was so into war, why didn't they fight the gods who hit them with the arrows? I guess they was just scared of the gods. I'm having no love with keeping this bluntly. Why? So we see our lead, Shadow Moon. He looks like a black dude in prison, and he's talking to his friend, a real jittery white guy, and he says the country went to hell when they stopped hanging folks. I don't agree. So he doesn't believe in anything. That's what Shadow says, and he feels like it's an axe over his head or something. I gotta plug my computer in. Everything starts happening when I want to record. Everything. You know what I'm saying? Shit stuff. If I don't do this, this shit gonna flat cut off, flat out, while I'm doing the live stream. But yeah, so he's in prison, and he's talking to his little jittery meth head looking friend or whatever. And so he's talking to his friend, and so okay, let me get back in shape. And so he says he smells snow or something, and he says something feels weird in the air, and it's constipated, all this stuff. And his wife, he calls his wife, and she tells him basically not to worry, and he should have worried. So she says Robbie is coming by to plan Shadow surprise party. Is that right? And calls him puppy. Oh, that isn't that cute. Puppy wuppy. All right. So Shadow has a vision or a dream of his wife in the bed saying that she loved him, and he walks through a forest, and it's like a forest of skeletons, the bone orchard, and it's like skeletons and skulls on the ground, and a tree branch reaches out and scratches him on his face, and then he sees a noose. So that's the second occurrence of a noose already. It's kind of funny that a black guy would be the lead in a show about Norse mythology. I'm sure some white supremacists are very mad about that shit. So all right, so he got called into the warden, and the warden tells him that his wife died in the carpet. So Shadow gets out 5 days earlier, and they send him to no halfway house, no parole officer. He's just free. So so boom, he goes to the airport. He can't change his date, and he remembers his friend singing something about a guy named Johnny Larch who argued with the lady at the airport and got sent back to jail. His message is, don't piss off those bitches at the airports. So remember that. Don't piss off those bitches at the airports. You know what I'm saying? Please do not do that shit, because yeah, you'll go to jail. So he waits until like the next day, and he sees an old man who looks senile, and he gets a first class ticket because the lady feels sorry for him. So the next thing, you see at some point, he calls his friend Robbie. I guess he didn't answer. He says Lori is dead, and he says he's coming home. So he finally gets on a plane, and somebody takes his seat, and he ends up getting a first class seat. And that old man is in first class, and he offers him like a drink or something, and he says, "You looked at me like I fucked your mom." But spoiler alert. Anyway, so nice work on the upgrade. That's what he said to dude about him, being able to get seats and do all this stuff. And the dude says that basically he knows that he just got out of prison just for knowing people. And he says that his mother, from the name Shadow Moon, he says his mother was a hippie parent, and he says had a fro and was a dancing queen. So that's a profile of mom. He asked his name, and Shadow asked his name, and he says, "What day is it?" And Shadow says Wednesday, and he says, it's his day, so call him that. And so basically he makes a point of that. Basically, he says that thought brings things to life. That basically the airplane they're in wasn't thought of until Newton thought of that concept. And when he thought of that, that made people believe in it. So now people can fly in planes because of the belief in the things that Newton came up with. Okay. So he offers Moon a job, and he says he has a job for him, and he says no, he already got a job, and Wednesday says no, he don't. And then he falls asleep. And on the plane, Shadow has another vision. He's in like a tunnel. He's at a tree, and he sees like a buffalo with his eyes on fire, and he hears Wednesday's voice say something. And they made an emergency landing. He's going to a place called Eagles Point, and he rents a car. I didn't know ex-cons could just easily rent cars, but cool. He goes to a place called Shakamak State Park, and he goes there and he yells in the sky at like the edge of a valley or something like that. So then you see a thing where they go to Hollywood, and it's an older white man and a black woman, and they met up over the internet, and she ends up sleeping with him. And so she starts saying like, "Yo, worship me like your God," and all this stuff. And slowly she gets bigger and sucks him into her pussy, into her body. Great. So yeah, that's basically a relationship. And then she just sits there all satisfied. Her name is Bill Quist. I hope we see her a lot. One of the best sex scenes I've seen on TV. Okay. So next you see Shadow go to the crocodile themed club, and the lady offers a buffalo burger, which reminds me of the buffalo. And then she says she got great chili, and she offers a deal on it. So he goes in the bathroom. Wednesday's in the bathroom. So he says something about he says he don't got a job, and he mentions Robbie's condition, and Shadow doesn't know what he's talking about, and he tells him Robbie is dead, gives him a newspaper. So Robbie died with Laura, you know what I'm saying, Shadow's wife, and Robbie is Dane Cook. Thanks, AfterBuzz. I did not pick up on that. He says he'll flip a coin, and if he wins, he has to work for Wednesday. So he loses. At first, he thought he wins, but he loses. So he has to work for Wednesday. Them's is the rules, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So a guy walks up to Shadow, starts doing coin tricks, and says he's a leprechaun. And Shadow like, ain't leprechauns tall? Which I thought too. So then the man says that as if he knows who he is, who Wednesday is. So then Wednesday comes up, and the dude's name is Mad Sweeney. He's a leprechaun, and he's Porn Stash from Orange is the New Black, and he was in The Wire and a couple of other movies. I think he was in The Kids or something, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. So he says he works for him too, I guess. And so Wednesday gives him a drink, and he says it tastes like hooch from prison. And he says it's the drink of heroes, the drink of the gods, or whatever. So yeah. So he basically hires him as a bodyguard, a driver, and he also says he has to hold vigil for him if he dies. So he just says he wants to wish his wife goodbye, and he'll do it until a dude pisses him off Wednesday. And he says he'll only fight to protect him. You know, he won't fight just for fun or something. So then Wednesday spits in his hand and shakes Shadow's hand. And I was like, disgust. Why? No. No. Ugh. So yeah, they shake hands. That was great. So then the Mad Sweeney starts doing these tricks and pulling coins from everywhere, even spits them out his mouth and all this stuff. And Shadow asks how he do it, and he says he'll teach him if he fights him. And he says no, but then he insults his wife. So then they start scrapping. And they start scrapping. It was a great fight. You know, it was a great fight. And at first, Mad was kicking his ass. Then you see, you know, Shadow start pounding his face in. And then you see him say he done, Shadow is done, but then Sweeney like, hell nah, they keep fighting. And then it cuts away. Cuts away, they're in a caddy. Shadow is drunk and fucked up from last night, and Wednesday is driving, and he, you know, says that he'll start remembering last night, and he asks if Mad Sweeney taught him the trick, and Wednesday says yes. I'm like, how? So they go to the funeral, and they see Audrey, and Audrey is Robbie's wife, and she's there, and she acting real funny and angry, and says, you know, they did a great job reconstructing her face and all this stuff, real crude. And she like, oh, you didn't know, you know, she died with Robbie's cock in her mouth. So her best friend was sleeping with her husband, and vice versa in Shadow's case. So he talks to he goes to the grave site later on and talks to his wife at the grave site, like, why didn't you tell me you were sucking dick and all this other stuff. So Audrey walks up. You see her, she's doing something. She walks up, and basically she looked high and drunk, and she says she was pissing on dude's grave, and basically they been cheating, and his dick got severed in the crash. It was in his wife's mouth and all this stuff, and she says she put it somewhere special, the dick. I don't know where that is. Where is that? Will that come up again? This reminds me of Preacher so much. She offers to fuck Robbie, and she hated how Shadow looked at Laura. They was always in love. And Audrey's a good actor, yo. And she hugs him and offers to suck his dick and says blowjob for blowjob. And she wants him to come in her mouth so he can spit it on Robbie's grave. And she says, I'm trying to get my dignity back. Really? So he just hugs her, and he's a better man than me. He flicks the coin, and it gets sucked into the ground. So then Shadow is walking, he hears some noises, and it's a box. For some reason, he goes towards the box. At least he pokes it with a stick, and it turns into a mask. This reminds me of Legion. Turns into a mask, and he's taken into a virtual reality. It's like an early 20s hipster. And he's talking, and then he says, "Don't fuck with him." And these two faceless men appear next to Shadow, and um, he reminds me of Jesse Lex Luthor dude, Jesse Ines, whatever the fuck his name is, Einsberg, or I forgot his name. And he's smoking synthetic toad skins. What is that? That's a thing. He asks what's Wednesday's plan, and he says that basically he's saying Wednesday is history and forgotten, and he's old. He says he's the future, and he don't give a fuck about them old niggas. And Shadow says he don't know what he's talking about, and says he's sorry about his wife. That's what the young guy says, and that Shadow says he wouldn't tell him anyway. So the young guy tells the men to kill him, and they start punching him, tearing his ass up. He says, and he says they'll delete him. So then he goes to the real world. He's falling, and the mask comes off, and then they're kicking his ass in the real world, and then they hang him. And this is the third noose in the episode, and they hang him by a noose, and then it starts raining, or it was raining the whole time. The noose breaks, and you see blood though before it breaks, blood kind of around Shadow's shoes, and so then after that, he falls on the ground, and it looks like that vision of the tree actually too that he had earlier. So whatever is doing this rips this dude in half, and his brain and his skeleton and his whole nervous system flies out into the air. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy. The battle scenes in this first in the intro and outro was crazy. It just looked like raw meat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, footnotes and random things is it's crazy how like I said, this Norse myth has this black lead. I know it's some people mad. You need to know a little bit about Greek mythology. It kind of follows the same storyline as Thor minus Thor. I wonder if that rope broke naturally, or did whatever did that to those people do that? I don't know. I don't know what killed the people. I do know, but I'm not gonna spoil it. Thoughts. This is about how thoughts bring things to life, though. Bring ideas, bring things to physical life. You know what I'm saying? Technology versus religion, media versus, like, I guess, first-hand knowledge, old versus new. Um, I don't know how he could have learned the coin trick while beat up and drunk. Wednesday seems like the devil. You know what I'm saying? Laura is in the preview. A couple of things are happening. You see something about a hammer, which reminds you of Thor. So he's able to find somebody. So the bone orchard is that vision. You know what I'm saying? I want to know how many people Bill Quist got in her. Yes, and those were Vikings who first came. I thought they were gods themselves. This is dope though. The people who made shows I like though, like Dead Like Me from Showtime, Pushing Up Daisies, which died during the writer's strike, great show, and Hannibal made this. So it's a lot of Hannibal-like imagery in this show, the way the blood looks and a lot of stuff. So yeah, man, we're gonna get into more of this show. I don't want to just get to spoiling stuff, but definitely it's a lot of Greek mythology involved, and I think this is gonna be a smash hit. Reminds me of Preacher, True Blood, and a couple of things. And yeah, American God's first episode, man. I'm hooked. I'm hooked into it. I like it. I like it a lot. So yep, I'm out of here, man. Viral Munchies, make sure you follow me at Loch121. Subscribe, like, share, check out my links in the description. Comment. I'm up for any ideas. Holla at me. check out everything. Check out my other videos. Check out the show I just did at the Atrium on the East Side in ATL. And I'm gonna have some more videos coming to you. And I'm out like that as soon as I can click off officially, which I could not because I am dumb. Yep.